Hi everyone,
Hi guys.
it's lovely to see you. Today is
We're not in the loft.
we're not in the loft. No, this is Dan's barn where he lives, which is amazing. And we wanted to talk about a single perfume that has a little bit of a history, and I feel a history that we love and have been excited by. And this is a new chapter.
This is a new chapter.
Look at that.
Habit Rouge L'Instinct. If you are familiar with our channel, we have spoken a lot about the House of Guerlain. Perfumes that we love more than anything else. We've been on kind of little journeys to Paris, to the Guerlain boutique, to the Osmothèque to smell some old originals.
We need to go back actually.
Yeah, we should definitely. We should. We've got, I don't know how many Guerlain bottles I've got, 32 or so. A lot of Guerlain.
I have some, not as many as that.
We are big Guerlain lovers, and whenever they release a new fragrance, we're always excited to try it. But especially an Habit Rouge flanker. So we've got here at the moment. I've got a bottle of the old EDT. Look, it's very empty. I've been through a few, and I'm always going to replace this. I mean,
with this probably rather than the current stuff, if you can.
Well, we'll discuss that in a minute. But I mean, this is it 1964?
Yeah.
Yeah. The original.
No, not 66. 66 was Veteran. I can't remember, but it's
64. Well,
it's mid-60s.
But I mean, I don't think don't think it's any exaggeration to refer to it as one of the greatest masculine fragrances ever made, and quite possibly one of the greatest
doesn't get much better
fragrances ever made.
It must be a top 10. I think it must be a top 10.
Absolutely. I mean, I've also got a little eau de cologne bottle here, and what's interesting, so this is one of these square bottles with the new the newest release, and indeed for the new Habit Rouge shape, they have gone into this square bottle shape, so they are kind of coming back to this old style.
Although this is more model on the L'Homme Idéal line, isn't it?
It's that bottle shape.
But it's nice to see
I wonder
if
that bottle shape is looking back to these old square bottles like this one. So the Habit Rouge means red coat, so it refers to this kind of hunting coat that you'd wear on a race. And the original Habit Rouge is, I suppose, in a very, very, very simple way, you could refer to it as a leather fragrance at its heart.
Yeah, sort of leather, orange, citrus, fruity thing.
For me,
I mean, fruity so much.
I came to Habit Rouge quite late. I only smelt it for the first time about 12 years ago, and it was at a time when I hated anything kind of citrusy because I thought it was boring and shallow. And then I smelt something like this, and it had such complexity. It smelt so natural. The citruses smelt so vivid and real, and it just took me on this enormous journey. And I thought, wow, a fragrance can smell like that. And so on to Habit Rouge L'Instinct. So I bought this fragrance, and I've worn it for a long time, and I've got lots and lots and lots to say about it. Lots I think about it. I've made lots of decisions. Joe has not smelt it at all before, so you're going to get his very first impressions.
I hope I like it because I want to like it.
So bearing in mind, we're working on kind of 50 years almost of history.
Oh dear.
You got a little waft of that.
Oh dear. Yes, I did. I got in the air something there.
So this is a release from Delphine Jacques, who has done lots and lots and lots of fragrances. She's one of the Guerlain in-house perfumers.
I don't get it.
So Guerlain has been producing a lot of flankers of late, and a lot of the flankers seem to appear and disappear. So my first thing is, what has this got to do with Habit Rouge? I mean, almost nothing. Like ostensibly, it shares 5 notes: bergamot, rose, leather, patchouli, and vanilla. Ostensibly, it has that in common. But to smell Habit Rouge and smell this, I know Joe's just getting his first impressions, but I think there's there's absolutely
I'm not fussed at all about this.
There's no
on the
relation.
First impression.
So,
I know there's more to come, I'm sure.
So I mean, I remember the first time I sprayed this, my wife said, "What is that? Why are you wearing that? It smells like lynx."
It's very, 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 very generic.
It's
exceptionally generic.
It's exceptionally generic.
And boring as sin.
It's really boring, and it does smell like some kind of teenage boy's body spray. I would say lynx or Axe.
Yeah. I dare say it. But I feel a very much. This is Guerlain finally catching up and trying to do something in a Sauvage Aventus mold, but with citruses instead of a pineapple.
Yeah, thing. I think
it's more like a sort of slightly smoky, grapefruity.
Yeah.
Something.
It's Bleu de Sauvage.
Yeah.
I think that's. So much.
From this house.
To be honest, at the best of times, I'm hugely cynical of flankers. I really don't like flankers. I just don't see the point. If you're going to release a new fragrance, why not do it? I guess the exception is if you're going to take a fragrance like Habit Rouge and you're going to ramp up something. So you could have had Habit Rouge Leather, which would be basically the same fragrance.
Well, the EDP, which has a bit more leather.
Yeah, with that leather facet kind of ramped up. Or Habit Rouge Neroli, when there's a big Neroli feature added to that. So, for instance, Hermès have done that. With Equipage, which is, in terms of subject, it's very similar to Habit Rouge. It doesn't smell like similar, but in terms of subject, it's this kind of classic leathery fragrance, and Equipage Geranium, when they've taken a new kind of slant on it. It's obviously Equipage DNA, but they've made it geranium. Whereas this L'Instinct, what does that mean? That means nothing at all. It
may as well be sport, or danger, or night,
danger, or surprise.
Yeah.
It means absolutely nothing whatsoever. And when you smell this, when you smell the EDT, you get this beautiful, vivid, real citrus of orange and lemon peel, and it smells like real fruit. When you smell L'Instinct, there's this really unpleasant synthetic grapefruit. And what I mean by synthetic, you can use synthetic aroma chemicals to create natural smells. This does not smell like something which occurs naturally. It smells horrible.
It smells like a perfume. It smells like something that you'd associate with. This is the thing for me.
Or toilet cleaner. It smells like toilet cleaner.
But it smells like a toiletry product rather than a work of olfactory art that you would wear. This smells. And I talk about this, as someone who enjoys things like Nautica Voyage. But they're things that I wear when I don't want to wear perfume, but I want something that's clean and fresh and simple. This smells like something you'd keep in your bathroom cabinet, and smells very much like you say, like a Lynx or an Axe deodorant. And I think if it was any other company, I'd say, okay, fine, dull. It's Guerlain. You need to do better than that, because you're the house that created this all.
Yeah.
This kind of generic shit is not good enough.
And the thing is, you would think perhaps
why would you do that?
Maybe they've just gone for performance. They've gone for something which is really strong, but the performance isn't that good
really?
either. And the thing is, in a way, I can kind of understand if they want to go for something appealing to a completely different crowd. Go for if it's something which would appeal to teenagers. Going for this kind of Lynx Axe body spray thing, fine. But the problem is they've called it Habit Rouge. So people like us who love Habit Rouge will go. Oh, that's an Habit Rouge. What? Hang on, that's nothing like Habit Rouge. So you're not going to attract the new market, and you're not going to. If you're going to Habit Rouge lovers, you're not going to win there either. It shows a lack of confidence.
Yeah, just have a meeting, come up with a new name, and get someone to design a picture for the bottle. simple. You could probably do it in 2 hours. Dan and I could do it in less than an hour.
I mean,
and save your
it
ass.
seems like Guerlain
shit.
now shoved just everything in the same bottle, so you don't even need to design a new bottle.
Oh, it's boring.
Or even a new font. Just call it like Plonk or something.
And I'm sure people, in its own right, it's perfectly pleasant and nice, and that's great. But this is Guerlain. This is not the house that puts out generic nice things. I mean, L'Hommidale as well. That series, I've got one of them, which is okay. It's nice, but actually, the more I try and wear it every now and then, because I want to make the effort to try and meet halfway, I think I don't like you. And it's nothing to do with the age or vintage or the fact that I don't like the modern, because some of the modern stuff I love, like L'Encens Mythique.
Yeah.
Some of those things. It's not about I love vintage and I'm a snob. It's about, is this something artistically credible and interesting? And this is boring. And pointless.
I've worn this a bit more, so I'm just gonna talk a little bit more because this opening is not very nice. So there is a cannabis note, which starts to come through.
We're all on it.
And it's very much a kind of greeny kind of cannabis note, and paired with that is a slight kind of tea note. So there are some things going on. There are some components which are a bit interesting, but I feel sorry for Delphine Jacques, who's the perfumer, and I feel that she had some ideas when she said, I've got like this cannabis mate tea fragrance which I've been working on, and they go, well, why don't you put like a really like obvious citrus opening which is more mass appealing? And she goes, well, I don't know if that really goes with it. Okay, now we've got this obvious opening, let's actually, we don't have the courage to release a new fragrance, let's just put it under the banner of something else. And she's gone, well, but it doesn't have anything in common with Habit Rouge.
I mean, I don't get the point of it. I don't get the point. And you don't have to release this. You've got plenty of great things that you have out there. You don't have to release something that's this dull, and to a market that you don't know exists. Like you say, it's not going to appeal to the young sort of, I want a new, fresh, modern cologne crowd. It's not going to appeal to the real Guerlain diehards. Call it Spotty Teenager Wants Sex and be done with it if you want to do that. Don't call it Habit Rouge and then give it some cheesy. I mean, there is an Habit Rouge Sport, I'm sure, and and I want to try that dress code.
Yeah, dress code's supposed to be really good. I mean, there have been
I'd be interested to see.
Yeah, but I mean,
this smells like boots.
I would be
I'm not interested.
Absolutely flabbergasted if this is still for sale in 5 years. I mean, this is going to be a complete flop. And it's really, really, really sad. It's really sad. If we didn't love Guerlain so much, and we didn't love Habit Rouge so much, and we didn't love perfume so much, we wouldn't care. And
it's not just that we love Guerlain or that we love Habit Rouge. We love perfume.
Yeah.
So it's not like, they've changed our classic that we love and we're diehard fans. In its own right, it is very, very generic. You shouldn't be able to pick up a perfume and think that smells like a million other things on the high street shelves. You shouldn't be able to do that. I don't know in the 60s whether there were other things that smelled like this that just sort of fell by the wayside, but I get the impression there probably weren't.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think if that's a principle, you can keep going forwards.
Yeah, I just think
I smelled that a million times, and going back 20 years, I was smelling stuff like this, in the early 2000s and the late 90s. I can name several things that I think smell pretty much the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, it's.
We love it, really.
Yeah, I mean, there are. I'm trying to find some positives. It's reasonably well composed, but it's a terrible, terrible, terrible release by Guerlain. It will be a flop. It will not succeed. I mean, if it was well marketed as something else, I mean, Phantom by Paco Rabanne is terrible, but because
that was really bad.
But it was terrible. But because of the marketing and stuff, it will do well because it's in a funny bottle.
The robot thing, isn't it?
With the robot thing and the AI, and it's a big punchy, maybe clumming fragrance. So and it will do well because of that. But LVMH, maybe we shouldn't say Guerlain. LVMH have not had the confidence to make a statement saying this is called spunk or whatever.
Yeah.
And
it's it's a bizarrely sort of dipping your foot in the water to test the temperature thing, and you've said, right, let's call it a flanker of this because we're not sure. Make a new fragrance. Just make a new fragrance.
They don't have the LVMH do not have the confidence. Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff, like occasionally we smell stuff that makes you really excited about the perfume, world and the future, and then you smell stuff which is just profoundly depressing, and you think, oh God.
It's one thing smelling something bad when someone hasn't done something well, but it's just,
when a great house does something that's really
and a good perfume, and like she's a very good perfume, and I kind of feel sorry for her that.
I mean, I don't think this is all on her at all, is it?
No, and you just need to think, I mean, there's a Facebook group called was it Guerlain Honeybees or something, which has got lots of members, and there are people like myself, along with lots of others, who complain about like, oh, Guerlain's not what it used to be, and said, well, maybe you're not a Guerlain lover after all. I think, well, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm a vintage Guerlain lover, and what we're getting from now is no longer Guerlain.
Yeah, I mean, it smells like so many other things.
Anyway,
so I may as well buy the other things.
We need to spend less time with this, more time with this.
And actually, I would say even more time with this.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely stunning. And for me, wins. I mean, that's even knocking spots off.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's an eau de cologne.
Yeah. It's an old code. Well, I mean, there are so many conversations we had. I mean, the long and short of it is this is a terrible fragrance. Do not buy it. It will be discontinued very shortly because it's awful.
Yeah. Possibly one of the harshest reviews. We're not reviewers. We generally talk about stuff that we love already, and we just want to share that with you. But sometimes we do want to talk about something because we care. And if we didn't care about Guerlain, we wouldn't talk about it. But like millions of other releases, we don't bother talking about it.
If something's just bad, we wouldn't talk about it. But if something makes us angry and sad...
Yeah, if we care about something, and then we're going to say.
Yeah.
Sue us. We don't care.
Yeah. Till next time. Bye. Happy sniffing.